Hey folks, Matt from Art of the Image. Got some news you might have heard. There's a rumor going around that Sony has a new 24 megapixel APS-C sensor. This is probably the sensor that Tom Hogan was referring to when he mentioned in his D400 predictions that there was a possibility the second way they might go with the D400 was 24 megapixels. He was hoping they wouldn't because he thinks that's pushing the edge of the resolution of what you can do nicely with a APS-C sensor, especially with lenses, what they're willing to or able to render. But it does look like Sony has this sensor coming. They're saying the new A77, the Sony A77, will have this 24 megapixel APS-C sensor. That is due to be unveiled in the third quarter of this year, 2011. So they're also saying that the new NEX7 is going to be due out in October with this same 24 megapixel APS-C sensor. These should be really nice cameras from Sony. Sony's really been picking up the pace on their cameras. Very nice machines. But it should be interesting to see where the 24 megapixel Sony sensor ends up. It kind of the fact that it looks like it's coming out and it looks like it's this looks like a good solid piece of news. I would think we're going to see this in the Nikon D400. I would expect you'll be able to you'll see the D400 come out with the 24 megapixel Sony sensor. Either that or Nikon has been starting to take over manufacture of their own sensors, so possibly Nikon will release an 18 megapixel or so sensor, similar to what's in the D7000, but probably 18 megapixels instead of 16, or they could do their own 24 megapixel sensor. So there's some up in the air here. Will we see a Nikon D400 with this Sony 24 megapixel sensor? Still a good likelihood. Nikon's not doing all their sensors yet, and Sony-derived sensors have typically been the way Nikon's gone for a lot of their DSLRs. One of the things that was mentioned, especially at Amateur Photographer out of Europe, was that this sensor, Sony is aiming for low noise. It says Sony's priority will be high ISO settings up into the hundreds of thousands. So that bodes very well for the fact that normally when we go up, we worry about it getting noisier. Didn't happen with the D7000. In fact, it got cleaner with more megapixels. So hopefully what we're looking at here is 24 megapixels. So hopefully what we're looking at here is a 24 megapixel sensor that's extremely clean, high ISO. So technology's moving forward, and we as photographers are benefiting from it. So will we see a D400 with a 24 megapixel sensor? Remains to be seen, but I think it's definitely a good possibility, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon with more of what's going on in the world of photography. We'll keep you up to date, and we'll be back with more videos and more articles for you soon. Thanks.